because I want to talk some about Cowboys free agency.
25 seconds in the half. Fake on the inside handoff, throws it to the left post to Pickens. That's a touchdown.
All right. So we have discussed this many, many times, how the Cowboys can easily have $70 million in open salary cap space. Now, I realize there are other ways to get the number higher, as we've talked about. If you want to give Brandon Williams an extension, if you want to flip a switch on Deron Bland, we've talked about that. I feel like those are more challenging decisions to make, especially with Bland having the surgery once again for his foot. But easily you can create $70 million in space. So what I wanted to kind of do is go through some of the lists of free agents, unless you guys just want to start and tell me, are there free agents that absolutely you want back or absolutely you do not want back? Because there are 22 players with expiring deals for the Cowboys, though obviously some, like Brandon Aubrey, are restricted free agents.
I would like George Pickens back.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes, and so that's why we played the highlight, because that's going to be the most expensive decision. Now, my follow-up question for that.
I have a follow-up question for your follow-up question.
Oh,
I don't even know your
I'm
question
intrigued. Do you want to wait it out and potentially do franchise tag, or do you want to bring him back with a multi-year deal or not?
I can't say that I certainly want a multi-year deal with him.
Okay.
This was a wonderful year.
For sure.
Obviously, this was a wonderful year because he knew he had to be on his best behavior. And, Kevin, do you think he went a little light on us this year?
What do you mean?
Behavior-wise?
Oh, for sure.
Like,
although,
what did we get? We got he complained about not being an All-Pro, and you really hated on him for that.
And he did have another tirade.
Yeah, he had an incident where he was out a little too late, missed curfew. And he was held out of a drive and then another first series.
Yeah, and to be fair, so did CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
But I would say,
I think that was a bad. I wonder if that was influence on CeeDee Lamb that happened. I don't. CeeDee shouldn't let himself be influenced.
And here's the thing I have to consider about that, though. What if he just came to an organization that better suited him? Like, I'm not saying that the Cowboys are a better organization than the Steelers, but let's face it, with all these different personalities, sometimes you just find the people or the organization that you click with. So I can't rule out he just fits better here, and that's what led to better behavior.
I know it's going to cost a ton of money to put the tag on him. I don't necessarily want to pay for extra years when I'm still kind of curious about whether or not where his motivations are. So that's where I am at the moment. And I can't figure that out. So I got to figure out how I can do that. But for right now, let's say he does sign the tag and we go with the 1-year deal.
Okay. All right. And just for the record,
because I love having a player like that. My follow-up question to you is, do people out there look at him as the one versus CeeDee Lamb? Or do you say we have two ones kind of like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? T. Higgins can be a one on another team, but Jamar Chase is the clear-cut dude on this team.
I think it's kind of like that, because I wonder how many teams kind of look at it like that, or to the example you just used with the Bengals, where they're like, well, that's a hell of a lot better than any wide receiver we have now. So he would be our clear-cut number one. But that's a good question. And the only reason I ask about the multi-year extension, too, is I can probably drop the cost for you about 10 to 11 million.
Do you agree, though? I know the cost matters to you, but did you see enough to make you say, I want him here for 3 years?
I did.
Okay.
I feel like this is one of the deals. You know how I talk about, like, because the Cowboys defense was so bad, I wanted them to roll the dice on offense a little bit more. Because the Cowboys management, I think, is so poor at this, I want them to go ahead and roll the dice and be like, hey, you know what? You found a player who fits in the system. Him and CD are boys, at least the way they describe it. They love each other. And so let's go ahead and get him paid, because if you do the multi-year deal, so franchise tag, you're talking about like $28 million. And the tough thing about that is you can't move it at all.
Okay.
That's the fun thing about the NFL, is you can manipulate these contracts however you want, except for rookie fifth-year option and franchise tag. If you give him the multi-year deal, I was looking at McLaurin as kind of my base deal to figure this out. I can get your cap hit next year down to about $17 or $18 million as opposed to 28. But you're right. There are problems that could come along with that. All right.
Dynamic offense, though.
For sure.
I'd pay anything for it.
Absolutely. Is there anybody else that you just know, or I can go down the list
Javonte.
if you want? Okay, Javonte.
He's getting a multi-year deal.
All right, and that's
sounds like
Steven said that, right?
Yeah.
And that's, once again, the beauty of the multi-year
That was fascinating.
deal.
He never says stuff like that.
Yeah, he's like, well, we're going to have to see what the market
He showed his hand pretty quick on that.
All right, so I tell you, Javonte wants 3-year, $21 million deal with 15 guaranteed.
21.
And that might actually be
70 year
low.
I feel like that's his market. 6 is like the market for me.
Okay.
So I'm in that range. I'm good with that.
Okay, and then $15 million guaranteed. And the great thing is about that,
I don't have a running back right now.
For sure. So the great thing about that then is I can probably have that number come in for next year at like $4 million. So now you got Pickens, now you got Javonte. And so ideally, wouldn't you love for your running back room to be Javonte and then a healthy and motivated Blue and Maffa,
yes,
right?
absolutely.
Would you feel good about that running
I think
back
I
room?
could thrive with that room.
And then,
now we'll see where Malik Davis lands in the future here because he might have made himself a handful of cash.
He could have. So I've now spent like $22 million of your 70. Other players on the list, Miles Sanders, safe to say you're like, yeah, it just didn't work out.
Yep. See you later.
Jalen Tolbert, safe to say.
Ryan Flanoy.
Yep.
See you later, buddy.
Okay. Hakeem Adeniji.
No, and I'm saying Ryan. You know what?
No, I got you.
But for the
See you later,
listeners,
Tolbert.
I want Ryan Flanoy.
We got Flanoy.
Yeah.
All right.
He's on a good deal too.
Defense. Dante Fowler. Thank you for your service.
Let's let the market float around. We'll see.
Okay. Jadeveon Clowney.
Let's have a talk about Jadeveon Clowney.
All right, Jadeveon Clowney.
I don't absolutely have to have him back.
Jadeveon Clowney is ready to go. He wants 2 years, $20 million, $13 million guaranteed.
It's pretty reasonable for him.
All right, so you're comfortable at 10 per off of 2 years.
It's pretty reasonable for Jadeveon Clowney.
And I know Jadeveon's kind of done the one, but one of the things that he said was, hey, I'm looking at getting started early, maybe even being at camp, which you would hope on a multi-year deal is kind of a prerequisite. So he might be more willing, and it seems like he likes it here as well, to be here. All right, so then we're cutting into your money just a little bit more. All right, Peyton Turner, Sam Williams.
Sam Williams is interesting. I want him to go check the market out and come back and see me.
I think I know the answer on this. Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn.
It was a good run, boys.
All right.
But my new defensive coordinator does not want you.
What about Donovan Wilson?
We need real safeties.
Okay.
Kevin, we haven't discussed safety enough over this year, over the last couple of years. We've pointed out that safety was like there was a time when you actually had some safeties that were fun. We had Curse, we had Hooker. Like you were running out there with a group that you were like, okay, let's run. In what you're probably going to play for a real defense, you need something real. And quite honestly, Donovan Wilson cannot cover the way we need. Dude can hit. But I just don't know if we can do this.
And by the way, I did see a couple people talking about tagging Pickens with the idea of trading him. If you can,
I'm always about
put
like
that deal together, then sure, I'm willing to listen to that as well. All right, C.J. Goodwin doesn't really feel like that's working.
He's invaluable.
Anymore. Is he?
Yes.
Is he?
We need a better special teams coach.
Okay, because I kind of wonder if the guy who's here for special teams is. You saw it, but now's the end of the road for that.
I'm sure he'll land back on this roster at some point.
Okay. All right.
Nobody values him as much as we do, though.
That is probably true. All right. Restricted free agents, T.J. Bass and Brock Hoffman.
Ooh, this is interesting because I need to know what I'm doing at left tackle. If I'm doing something at left tackle, my left guard position, I'm a little light there. And so Bass Bass and or Hoffman I would like to have back. I think Hoffman might go check out the market for sure.
Well, and that's one of the great things as a restricted free agent. If you think they're going to go check out the rest of the market, or teams are interested, that's when you have the possibility of first-round tender, second-round tender, and then it's at a predetermined cost. And then you can look at it, and you're like, ooh, would I pay $5.4 million for that player per year or take the second-round pick?
If I kick Tyler out to left tackle, I have Levert and Keegan behind him. Your thoughts on those guys? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's where I feel like Hoffman went out there and played the position a little bit. I wouldn't mind having him back because he does have position flex with center as well.
And then Brandon Aubrey and Wanye Thomas are also restricted. I can't imagine a world in which Brandon Aubrey walks.
I mean, I agree.
What about Wanye?
How much money does he want, though?
Let's say he wants...
Like, does he want to cap the market here?
7.5 per.
I don't know, man. That's a lot for...
You're right. And that would reset... I guess
use that money to score touchdowns?
I mean...
Or stop touchdowns from being scored?
Fine. Then my question is, do you have a head coach who will take advantage of trying to score touchdowns?
I might force him to. If I'm Jerry, I might. No, listen, dude. I love having Brandon Aubrey. I think he's wonderful. He's a weapon. I think sometimes your coach is like, hey, all we got to do is get it to the 50-yard line instead of pushing things. So, you know how I feel about kicker. Bring him back, though. Just $7 million's a lot.
All right. Okay, so keep that number in mind. You just said $7 million's a lot, because I want to address, because we see this all of the time. Why can't we just keep Pickens and go ahead and trade CeeDee Lamb? So one of the issues that you run into with that is if you trade CeeDee Lamb right now, you can always restructure the deal, but your dead money hit would be $68 million.
This year?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's the issue. When people say trade this person, when I told you I can create $70 million in space, that's by going along the Cowboys' logic of making that low base salary and making the rest signing bonus and spreading it out across the years. You can't just trade CD without taking a massive hit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man.